Me mother forbade me to go, so I left an envelope for her with most of the cash I nicked. Won't be needing that where I go, and snuck out in the early morning. Lied to the bloke at the recruitment office that I was 18. He didn't ask any questions, seems happy to give anyone a rifle these days. Got my uniform, and on the train to Calcutta the same day. They put me in the 2nd Mounted Rifles. I never so much as seen a bloody horse, other than in the shape of a sausage. But no matter, none of the other blokes could ride either, and with 1 horse for every 10 of us, it didn't matter much. Most of the boys are locals, and they speak well enough, with a funny accent though. Our Sarge is a bloke from Dover, and he's got an axe to grind, said the Dutch got his son during the defense of the city. He's a bloodthirsty bastard and no mistake. I got to shoot a few rounds with my rifle, and then they stuffed us into a train again, said it was an emergency, that the Germans were at the river, and we had to defend some city place on the other bank. Finally, I get to shoot Krauts. Can't wait for the gang to reunite, and when it's all said and done, the stories we'll have to tell over a pint back in the pub. It'll be free beer and no mistake. In fact, our boy might have a chance to do some acts of glory and valor after all, because most of General Paulus's troops are currently being withdrawn to Shanghai to, tell the legation cities who's boss, and to make sure that nothing gets in the way of the legitimate Qing government on that continent. So that aside, we have a couple of new things to worry about. For once, we do have the Navy now in Singapore, and reinforcing the German East Asian troops from there. But so far we have not spotted any kind of sign of the Imperial Japanese Navy. So we're setting up the Marines for a launch from Borneo, and I think for that we can actually improve the naval base in Sandakan here quite significantly to make sure that we have the facilities in place for a landing. Well, we'll probably do a dual landing. Visayas and Mindanao sounds like a good plan, and then we'll just move north towards Luzon from there. But let's improve the port facilities here quite a little bit, and we can move that up priority-wise. In Africa, we have taken Algiers, and the troops are now setting up for a further push east. And I think, in fact, we do actually have enough troops on the Africa expedition that the French can no longer maintain the front lines. There are a couple of troops in the south here that are trying to catch up with the northern breakthroughs, but that should be we should be have sufficient firepower to push them ahead of us. And we've got some more divisions here. That can just take the coastal route towards Oran and capture the last points that separate us from the Moroccan-Spanish line of conflict, where Morocco is going to have some trouble, I assume, with French incursions and Spanish incursions at the same time once we declare war on Spain. But that is just how it is. Does Morocco need anything in terms of material? Yes, they need rifles, trucks, support equipment, and artillery. Okay, we can assist with that. So let us ship some material support. So they can have Carabina 98B. Yeah, we've got plenty of those. So let's send them there. We should have lots of support equipment laying around, actually. I am rather surprised that we only have 6 in storage. That sounds unlikely. We should have significantly more than that. Yes, we should have about 3,000. Okay, that's probably foreign equipment though. That's probably why it's not listed there. All right, so let's do it again. Material support. You are getting the rifles, all of them. And we will see where we find the support equipment. The trucks, they needed trucks. We have some trucks laying around. So let's send those. got a bunch more rifles that I don't really need. Yeah, I'll find some more rifles. I'll find some more trucks. Some more. We can send some Russian support equipment, I guess, and some Russian trucks. And we do need some artillery. So we do have a lot of quarter-pounder British artillery. They can have that as well. And yeah, there's more British and French support equipment that we'll probably send them another 500 units of that. Send and done. So that's equipment to Morocco to allow them to fight in the hot war and the flanks against the Entente. Where in the north, we are actually going to declare war on Spain. So I send that in. For now, we're not going to call anybody in, but we are going to immediately launch the assault with... First of all, we'll launch the assault in Iceland and make sure that that Spanish division is... that Spanish enclave up there is dealt with. And we should have some mountain divisions in the area here. We do indeed, actually, from the Alpenkorps. And where is the ideal first position to take? That looks like a good position to take, because that's a supply point, and we do have Toulouse from where we can operate. But we need to break through the Pyrenees. That is going to be the first task of the mountain divisions. So we'll launch an attack into the Pyrenees and then break through from there. On the Russian lines, von Kluge's tanks are pushing forward and are about to take the vital supply hub at Penza. We can actually divert a second tank division to broadening that, and we can use the 6th Panzer to secure the southern part of the flank here. From there, yeah, I think we'll just literally move into Kazan at this point. Secure the breach. Make sure that we have a broad line here, and we have taken Penza, which means we now need to stop first and wait for supply to catch up, as usual. The normal problems you have with these kind of assaults. But we can get the 1st Panzer to lend some assistance here, because there are some T-34s spotted. So we are going in for a tank battle, and we will send one of the Schützendivision along as well. Morocco has accepted our material support, and that means we should be now. Yeah, we have declared war on Spain, so we should be ready to move. Why can it? Oh, we can't attack from France because France is neutral. Okay, we do have to call France into. We do have to call the French Republic into the war. Let's see. How do we do that best? Call to arms. They will not accept that. Okay, I should have probably called the Allies to join this war, because since we're on neutral territory, we can't actually attack the Spanish on the mainland there. Okay, that is unfortunate, but we will deal with that as we go. We can, however, attack them in Iceland, and we can probably. We can probably attack them in Africa. We will see about that. Okay, troops in Africa need some reinforcements here, and we will secure the flank here by getting all the by clearing the southern approaches, and we have additional troops ready. So I think the path to Oran is relatively open. Which brings us to Finland, where we are making headway. And I think the strategic targets in Finland is going to be Vasa. So let's expand the lines towards Vasa, and the problem obviously going to be that we don't really have enough. We don't have enough troops to hold the territory, so we do have to at some point destroy some of the Finnish divisions, because we do have some We do have some relatively powerful divisions here. So for now, we'll move towards the coastal town of Pori, and from there we shall. Okay, that's we need to go to the northern route. From there, we'll encircle the Finnish divisions in the western part, and we will destroy them. We might have to leave one division behind in Tampere just to ensure that that is held, and we've got some assault divisions that can further exploit positions northwards and just keep the Finns on their toes. We may push north actually here and see if we can get just keep pushing the Finns ahead of us. All right, Portugal has joined. All right, we do want the French to join, but not necessarily everybody else. So let's sort that out quickly. Okay, so we have the French and the former syndicalist areas now joining against their old enemies in the Entente, which is quite. How would you say? Ironic, really. All right. First attack into a French stronghold held by legation city troops, and obviously they are relatively well dug in, but the mountaineers should not have too many troubles with them. We can probably direct we've got 3 more mountain divisions coming in. We can probably direct some railway gun support here as well. Guderian has once again been denied his glory because before he could even bring his tanks into position, the airfield has been taken, which means we can now, I think, yes, so we can now start moving some of our. Where do we actually have still aerial opposition? None in the north, in the central Russian zone. So we can send the heavy fighters. This is already being heavily occupied, so we'll probably just send four wings out of that to the airport north of Moscow, because all the allies have already sent their aircraft there. So let's bring the rest of the fighters a little closer and also join the Central Russian Republic. And with that, I think the air coverage is all but ensured. Von Kluge has to wait for supply to catch up here at this point. But we are in a somewhat pitched battle here with enemy T-34s. So we can let's see. The first Panzer can punch right through the armor. Even the infantry can punch through 2 of them, but not through the T-34s. So how about the Schützenpanzer? Schützenpanzer isn't engaging, so okay. I think we will, at this point, just defend here because there's really no further reason, and wait for the counterattack to stop, and then we will send the tanks in to finish off the enemy T-34s in a pitched battle, and the motorized infantry can make itself useful in just expanding the front lines. And the rest is waiting for supply to catch up before we are sending von Kluge's panzers again further north. And we are going to concentrate in the northern flank here. So we do need the rest of the armies to catch up. So let's make sure that we've got infantry support along the lines here and ensure that sufficient amounts of infantry come in. And Guderian, ever unlucky, is having his panzers in Moscow, but he can still help breaking through the Russian defenses here. And I think the next push will be towards Yaroslavl. So let's begin clearing out the enemy fortifications, and then create a breach from here that the infantry can more easily exploit, rather than having to use infantry to go through the motions there. We are in October, and it is going to start snowing relatively soon, I fear. So we do have to be somewhat mindful of that. And in Africa, we are making our way towards Oran and pushing the French out along the lines Securing the south, that's all good. There is a okay. It looks like the enemy, the friendly Ottoman divisions have let the French through. They might be. I don't think that's a railway connection there anyway. Yeah, that's we're all just supplying over ports here, so it's not crucial to hold this. But if they are making their way towards Tripoli, that would be problematic. So we're going to send that one division just north to hold the coastline and prevent the French from breaking through any further. And in Spain, it looks like the mountaineers are making their way through the interestingly. Two of them are Spanish forces, but the Chinese force actually is fighting relatively well. Do we have enemy air over Iberia? Not really. Unfortunately, we can't spare any bombers because they're all active in other theaters. All right, Finland. In Finland, we are making our way around the Finnish troops. We do have to be careful not to overextend our lines here, despite the fact that we do now have some reinforcements. So. Holding Turku and getting through the north will be a race between the Finnish infantry to reach Pori and von Mackensen's Panzergrenadier troops. We do have a naval battle where we are seeing what are these? We are seeing some Russian convoys escorted by. Seeing some troop escorts, but not an awful lot. Other than that, it's just unescorted convoys that we are taking care of here. And the open Atlantic, Japanese convoys in the open Atlantic without escorts, easy targets, and the single submarine, the Type 10 submarine, can go back into reserve. I thought I did that. Okay, gone back to reserve. That leaves the. Are they operating in the area? Yes, they are operating in the area. Okay, so that leaves the Strasbourg class scout cruisers to try and find the Imperial Japanese Navy here, and they should be on patrol mission. Yes. We are probably going to exclude the southern areas. I am expecting the Japanese to be further north. Okay, let's include this one. All right, so 4 troops, 4 groups moving to assigned areas. Troops from Port Moresby have retreated for now. Marines are on the way, and we are still sinking Indian transports unopposed in the Indian Ocean, but nothing else much happening. Right, here we're just defending against Indian counterattacks. The rest of the troops is on their way to Shanghai, which still stands at this point. So let's get back to the Russian front, where how long does von Kluge have to wait for supply to come in? It is how long are we away? 5 days, so we do need to wait for 5 days for supply to catch up, and as usual the Russian supply lines are dreadful for our armored divisions, but Guderian should be making some headway at this point. He is indeed. Where's the rest of Guderian's tanks? Okay, they are coming in, so we've got 3 more panzer divisions here. They can open a second flank along the river line and approach Yaroslavl from the west. Okay, have we cleared out Iceland? We have. So these troops can all join the Pyrenees front. That is the 8th Army, so they can join these lines here. We are fighting our way through. We are fighting our way through the Spanish defenders here, and we are. Once we've created a breach in the Pyrenees, then we can probably swing south towards Tarragona and cut off the eastern Spanish troops there. Minor skirmishes at this point. in North Africa, we do need to make sure that we are consolidating the lines here. So this division is not going to be able to hold Tier Red, but we might be able to cut off the exhausted French Marine Division in the north here. We will see about that. There are potentially some French counterattacks running here. And how is the situation is stable-ish along the east. We have captured a Rhodesian operative. We definitely have ways of making him talk, but we do need additional forces along the lines here, please, to ensure that we can make the push towards Oran, where the French have reinforced together with Australasian troops, who are now operating in the area as well. So yet another operative becomes available. Let's see who we can get here. We can get a very Chinese recruit, but he doesn't have any special abilities. We could get the Master Saboteur. We've got an escape artist, an infiltrator and linguist, and a highly educated. That might not be bad. Costa Rica and Central America. Yeah, a highly educated operative. So we're getting some more operatives that we can start sending to the French Republic, I think. So let's begin sending him to Dakar. Do we have anybody who's French? Simone Leboeuf. She is currently in India. So we'll reassign her to France, to the French Republic, because she is more suited towards that. And we are going to send Lavoile to India instead to pick up her work there and make sure that we have everything under control. Where are Paulus's divisions? Not yet in place. They're still on the train, so it might still take them a little bit of time. Let's get back to the front lines in Finland, where I think the Finns have been encircled. That's what we were after. So let's destroy the Finnish divisions around Turku, and we will already send von Mackensen's troops north towards Vasa, and just overrun the completely overwhelmed Finns here. And once we have destroyed the Finnish troops here in the encirclement, then we will continue the push. And I think in general the Finns are not having enough troops to stabilize their front lines at this point. So we may as well exploit that and send some troops further out. We do have Baltic Duchy troops already standing near Viipuri and poised to take on the Russians there. So Yaroslavl has fallen to Guderian, and again the Russian tanks spotted. So finally Guderian has a battle that he can join some glory with. We will see if we can get these Russian tanks encircled. I'm not sure. Oh, they're already retreating. And it is a medium tank division, so T-34s, but we will see if they can make their way through before we are actually managing to encircle them. All right, Engineers 3 have been completed. Good. I think we do have, that is still way ahead of time. We probably do have some infantry tech that we can work with here. Improved, yeah, we could do that. This is still ahead of time. We're already researching that. We don't need those. All right, maybe not. Maybe getting towards a more modern. Let's finish up some gun research, and then we might do the 1943 medium tank and get a. Actually, let's do that first. We can already build the prototypes, so we'll build these. We research these and get that done. That's just ace pilot action. Okay, let's see if Guderian can manage to overrun these Russian tanks here, and more countries are joining the war. First breakthrough in the Pyrenees is underway, and in Africa we are going to leave one division here, but we have some troops that can assist in encircling the French Marines in the mountains, unless they retreat first. And if we can make it there before they get in, we might be able to overrun them. So let's see. We do have some headway here in the desert, and just generally overrunning the French. We do need to keep a bit of an eye on the front line here. I think I will extend, given that the Ottomans are no longer holding this. We're going to get the Fremdenlegion to extend their line and hold there, and we get the Africa expedition to do the rest. All right. Another recon research. Let's get it done. And we have the Deutsche Waffen- und Munitionsfabrik, which I think we are using for support equipment. So really, is there any policies we can use that's making sense? That's just a research bonus, reliability, funds gain. Reliability sounds pretty good. I do not have the 25 political power to make that happen. So next up, production output. Yeah, production output sounds good. Let's do that. No trades to do. So that's on the wraps. And any kind of naval battles. Have we spotted anything in the Pacific just yet? I think not. So far the Aufklärungsgeschwader are operating in the Philippine Sea without. They still move. Yeah, they're operating. They should be patrolling. So nothing spotted so far. So the Japanese fleet is not here, which is quite fascinating, really. Naval battle here, and we have sunk 3 Indian destroyers. So no big deal there. And another naval battle off the coast of Spain, where we are encountering a few light forces here that so far haven't been a huge problem, but we do want to keep an eye on that. We will eventually have, we're still managing to sink their transports without too much problems, but we do want to deal with these eventually. All right, first inroads into Spain have been made. And that means from here on out, that is a supply hub but we are getting supplied out of Toulouse, which is a bit overloaded at this point with the amount of troops that are in the area. So the mountaineers are exhausted. So we will need to wait for them to reconstitute and to get ready for expanding, especially getting the railway connections going here. Toulouse is overloaded. Can we improve the supply out of Toulouse? Probably not worth it. We just need to capture the railway, and then part of the supply can flow through Bordeaux without too much trouble. All right, back to Finland, where Mackenson's troops have destroyed the Finnish. They have taken Vasa, and we do need to now reorganize the front lines here because they have become fractured. So the Marine divisions will just hold the line in Vasa for now. And we have von Mackenson's troops who can, and we probably want to get the Panzergrenadier divisions on their own here, who can effect a breakthrough in the north and push towards central Finland. But where has the Finnish government fled to? Because the Swedes are actually invading from the north as well. So Finland is probably relatively close to capitulation. Yes, they are. Where do they still have viable troops? I don't think they have any more viable troops. They do still hold some population centers here, but let's make sure we are holding Vasa. Finnish counterattacks against von Mackenson's half trucks are completely ineffective, and we are getting additional troops now ready to occupy the eastern flank, while the half tracks are reorienting towards Vasa. So let's leave the Finns to it and get back to Guderian, who appears to have defeated the Russian tanks, and we are still waiting for supply in Yaroslavl. How's the supply situation for von Kluge? Could be better, could be worse. We are of course, as usual, running low, and we are still facing some remnants of the Russian forces, but not an awful lot. We are not really in a position to destroy much here, so in terms of Russian troops, because there simply aren't any left. So I think we will be forging ahead, and probably the next supply position, we might have to push north to take Nizhny Novgorod, and from there on have some supply for a further push towards Kazan, because the supply lines here are just insufficient for von Kluge's armored divisions. And for that, instead, we might also split them up, and we'll send a second group north towards Simbirsk, and we send the other ones to immediately take on the Russian tanks wherever they can find them, and push the lines out a little bit further north. Guderian's tanks can make themselves useful and pushing the Russians back over the river. And then we will probably swing east. There's not much in the north for us to deal with, but we are starting to encounter snow as well. So I think these might also be just the last actions before the onset of winter. So let's see if we can just expand the lines a little bit and maybe destroy some more Russian troops. But then we need to stop and set up for winter, make sure everybody has the right equipment, because one does not simply fight in Russian winter without the right equipment. All right, North African front, most critical right now. And I think we have a possibility here of encircling Oran. Let's see. We are getting more and more troops on the lines here, and binding French forces in the east, who are trying to launch further attacks, because our allies are not holding these lines properly. So that's something to worry about. And I think we need one division. I think we might need one division to try and pin the. Where are we sending these three? Okay, give me one division to pin the French in the desert, while the rest is moving into a position south of Oran, and then we get the rest of the troops to encircle them. All right, that looks about right. Spanish ships are harassing our submarines more and more. So with the remaining, we don't really have much. We don't really have much in the area. We have a few submarines, and the two heavy ships. That would be enough probably to deal with the Spanish Navy. Let's see what we know about the Spanish Navy. They do have 2 to 3 battleships. So there are more major Spanish forces in play, but the naval game really isn't the key here to victory. We do, however, need to let our Gebirgs divisions reconstitute themselves. We can fight a bit longer into winter in the Pyrenees, but the Russian attack here needs to probably wrap up. So let's keep battering the enemy T-34s into submission, and meanwhile the half tracks can assist. The Uranverein has been established, so that should have given us a nuclear reactor, if I'm not mistaken, in Württemberg. So and we have a research bonus for nuclear technology, so that's going to come in handy. That means we are now free to do some other things. And let's take a look around what makes most sense. I think it's a good time to do some of the naval focuses. We do have convoy raiding efficiency. We can get bonuses for range, or we can get attack bonuses. So combined arms task force sounds like a good one to take next. Guderian has reached sort of the limit of his supply range, and with Yaroslavl not yet under control, I think that's probably where we are going to go in for winter. We might be snow has been reported in the north, but for now the forests are still clear. There might be a possibility for Guderian to link up with, if we focus all of his forces for a river crossing, we might have enough power to link up and destroy some more Russian divisions. Given that Guderian has been consistently cheated out of the glory, I think that assault for him is one that would make sense. So let's see if he can push his panzers just a little bit further, and push the exhausted Russian divisions over the rivers, and see if we can link up in the Friedrich offensive with the defenders on the Baltic side, and encircle the exhausted Russians here before things get too snowy and icy. Snow is starting, so all in all, and I think that's probably far enough. Before everything snows over, we'll try to break through here and see if Guderian's tanks can make their way there. And before the rivers freeze and everything becomes icy and we have engine problems with things. Ottomans have called Cuba in. Okay. That's fine. How is it looking? Yeah, we have encircled Oran, basically. So let's make sure we are starting to assault the city from two sides, while also closing the gap in the west. And we can further. We are starting to run a little low here on troops to hold the whole front line, but so are the French. So let's secure Oran. That'll give us, I think that'll give us supply. Yes, that'll give us supply, and then we can make further inroads. We are seeing attacks from friendly troops here along the lines, so it is probably time for the mountain divisions to clear out the Pyrenees positions of enemy forces and secure the railway lines with heavy gun support and infantry support from the other side. We should be able to evict the Spanish here from their mountain positions without too much trouble, and we're going to do the same on the other side and with supporting fire. And I think that that should do it. We've got assault divisions along the line as well, so they can throw their weight behind things too, and just push the Spanish out of their positions here and see if they can make a move forwards towards Barcelona and secure the eastern parts of Spain already. All right, Spanish invasion is in full swing. No bombers to spare right now because they're all engaged. We do have 2 tactical bomber wings that have been training. Actually, no, they're already engaged in live bombing runs. So they learn on the job, which can be a little dangerous. But let's make sure that Guderian's tanks can make their way through, and they are currently struggling in the north to breach the river lines. But maybe we can get some infantry support. There's a single tank division, the 7th, which is running very much ahead of everyone else at this point. So I think they do need to swing north and support the push from the other tank divisions across the river. We do need to make sure that we get the Russians dislodged here, and that we are securing the breach before making any further moves. It is getting increasingly difficult, and I am looking if we are starting to spot spot some enemy ships in the area, some Australasian ships. Okay, that might be the first catch of the day. Let's make sure that the Schlachtgeschwader are ready to engage. They are docked in Singapore, however. We probably want to send one of them further out. So let's take the third and bring them to Celebes and see that they can become be a little bit closer to the action. So we are seeing a Australasian Confederation task force in the area. Other than that, we have Iberian Coast, Cape Verde Plain. This is the usual Atlantic skirmishes. And we do now see enemy planes in the air over Iberia. Okay, so let's focus. Okay, we are overloading this airport by the looks of it. Let's get these to return. We are going to need additional fighter support, I feel. And we do have one of the Nachtjagdgeschwader has enough range to operate from there. So we are going to need additional fighter support in the area, probably to counter the Australasian, Portuguese, and Spanish fighters. Somebody from the legation cities has been captured, which reminds me, and the Spanish are getting bold off the coast here, which reminds me, have Paulus's troops arrived? Yes, they have. So as it turns out, the Chinese United Front is refusing to join our side against the legation cities, which is disappointing, to say the least, which means that for political reasons, Paulus's troops are not allowed to attack Shanghai, which means we would have to actually invade, at least not from Chinese territory. So they are still afraid of getting their hands dirty against the Entente, and that is extremely disappointing after everything we've done for the Chinese. So in that case, Paulus's troops will return, disappointingly, to the front lines in India, and will resume the original plan of attacking north and cutting off Indian supply. But yeah, very disappointing. And I think future support for China is going to not be as forthcoming as it used to be, which leads us to a plan B, which means we are going to need the Marine Sturmdivision, which are currently shipping to Indonesia. We might instead we'll take this on after we fought our way through the Philippines. So let's get back to the Navy and see if our scout forces have managed to detect these enemy ships for now. So far, the third Aufklärungsgruppe is still trying to find them. And yeah, the Spanish are operating increasingly aggressively off the coast of the Iberian coast, which is to be expected. However, I think we don't really have any forces in the area that could deal with that. So we will leave things be for now. These are repairing. All right. Back to the war in North Africa, which I think is at a critical juncture, and it looks like the encirclement of Oran is failing due to French reinforcements. So let's instead just take the city, and because it is a supply point that we urgently need, and from there on out we are pretty much open until the Moroccan border. And I don't think the French will have. This has also disrupted now the railway that the French have constructed through the desert. They have a railway connection through the desert all the way to Dakar, and that has been disrupted, obviously. And now the cities in the north no longer get any supply, which means once we have taken Oran, and we probably do need some troops. They have sent reinforcements, but we do get some more troops here to run the assault. How is the Russian front looking? We did have Guderian on a daring raid here. Okay, we have managed to cross the river line, but Guderian's tanks are getting Guderian's tanks are running a little low on everything. So we do need to wait for the Panzer divisions to catch up before we are trying to close the gap here ahead of winter. We have managed to encircle a Russian division here, and I think we have taken Simbirsk, which will give us a supply line, but it is mildly precarious. So we are going to need enemy tanks sighted. We are going to need von Kluge's divisions to widen this, destroy the T-34s, and secure the breakthrough here. And then I think von Kluge is going to settle in for the winter, as does everybody else. So the overall assaults are going to get very costly now that winter is setting in. So we're going to stop the overall attacks for now, and we'll just run Guderian's assault along the lines here with the Panzers once his tank divisions actually make their way to the front lines and have recovered some of their organization, and we'll see that they can continue pushing the lines, and we'll see if we can break through. The big question is going to be supply, because we are overloading the Yaroslavl supply hub massively. Let's upgrade the bottlenecks here, and that should schedule. It does not. Okay, let's do it by hand then. So let's get that upgrade. Let's get the railway upgraded and ensure that everything is connected as well as it possibly can be. So Yaroslavl, Moscow has to take priority. So let's get that underway. And we've got some free civilian factories where we can probably just improve the general infrastructure in the area. In preparation for the assaults once the winter is lifting into Russia proper. So that's something we can do. In Finland, we have von Mackensen's troops ready, so we can effect another breakthrough here and ensure that we encircle and destroy some more Finnish divisions, which will then, and in the east they are completely open, so we can pretty much walk through Finnish territory here at this point, and join up with the, push all the way up to the Russian front. In Spain, how is the air situation in Spain? Yeah, we are going to need more fighters in the Spanish region. So let's see if we can, given that everybody else is occupied. Can we create? We've got some capacity here. Can we create new air wings? Well, probably not in France, but can we create some new air wings? We should have some fighters available from outdated models that we can use in Spain. Okay, additional heavy fighter wings being brought in with rookie pilots, and we have taken Barcelona, which means we can now try to create an encirclement here and see if we can push the Spanish out of the mountains, encircle the eastern flank of the Spanish forces, and make a rapid end to their resistance in the area. We can support from here and push through without too much trouble. There we go. And then once we're through there, we will just have to wait for the mountaineers to join. Simone Leboeuf obviously has gotten herself captured again. that is not in first, but the French Republic has capitulated. So with the fall of Oran, the French forces have capitulated. And that has been a major success for the Foreign Legion and the troops fighting in the area. William III has announced that the cowardly French nation could no longer withstand the pressure from the overwhelming presence of German forces throughout the country. The French government chose to flee the country and has gone into exile. Their main forces have capitulated and the German Empire is now in control of their home area. Great news. Yes, so what has happened? The French have capitulated after the fall of Oran, and they have seen no further possibility of victory. The German Empire is now directly in control of the African possessions. We do have some pockets of resistance that we need to clear out, like that Gold Coast, that Gold Coast division here that is going to find itself in troubled waters. But this means that we can now send, and there are a few pockets of resistance here and there that can be wiped out. And we've still got a couple, I think, of Australian troops deep in the desert that we can deal with. So let's do that first, and then we will send the we'll send the rest of the troops to assist Morocco against Spain and to liberate all of Northern Africa, really. So that has been a great success. Have we managed to spot? No, we're still scouting for the enemy forces here. We're still waiting for any sign of the Imperial Japanese Navy. And in Finland, von Mackensen has, I think, von Mackensen has almost completed the encirclement of Finnish troops in the area. Let's make sure we are pinning them here, and then we can go and wipe them out. And that means there is probably not an awful lot left of Finland at this point. We are literally pushing towards the Russian border and taking the last remaining urban centers under Finnish control, while at the same time destroying the encircled Finnish division here. And Finland, I think, is going to fall soon under the combined German-Swedish pressure. Guderian, where are Guderian's tanks? Guderian still has a few days left, and that means we're probably just going to focus all attacks on that gap here and join with the Baltic forces and see if we can encircle some Russian troops before we have to settle in for the winter. Von Kluge is in the position in Simbirsk, which is going to be connected, but we will need to again upgrade the railways over winter. So some infrastructure operations, once the snow is getting deep enough and the weather is getting cold enough, are in order. But let's observe Guderian's panzer divisions and see if he can finally reach his ambitious goals and getting in a pitched battle with the 123rd Infantry. But before we get to that, we do need to deal with the French Republic. So what do they have? They do have a few ships that we might be able to. The few ships that we might to be able to take that might not be completely terrible. So the Jean Bart. We shall be taking the Jean Bart. What else do they have? Coastal defense ships, not interested. Pre-dreadnoughts and old cruisers, no. But the Jean Bart and maybe the Richelieu might be quite interesting. We will see. The Ottomans and the Moroccans, I'm happy with them to take over, and Middle Africa potentially, but this is a later diplomatic decision. For now, we shall submit the demands for the Jean Bart and for the Richelieu, and then we will see what else we can deal with here. It looks like we'll be taking control over most of the territory for now, so let's do that then, and see if anybody else is making any claims of themselves. But for now, we'll claim what we can. And we will see if We will see if anybody else has any land claims that on the French Republic. Otherwise, we will divide things up later on. So submit these demands. And whatever else is left, we'll demand that as well. Languedoc and Aquitaine, Morocco claims these? No. You're not getting claims on the French homeland. So we have contested. We shall be demanding those. And there we go. Okay. So that is not going to go to Morocco. They are not getting part of the French Republic. That is definitely not happening. And interestingly enough, because these were originally created by the Spanish or by the Entente as enclaves, and that means I think we have overruled Morocco here. We'll be retaking control, and we'll be giving control over these territories to France. There's nothing else to demand, so I think we can confirm that and access. They appear to have taken a territory in the center, which I did not see. So definitely some weird enclaves here, but. Or maybe that's just legation city, remaining legation city areas that are under their control, and we'll be sending troops there to liberate these eventually. Now, can we return these territories that we are currently uncontrolling to France as they should be? So let's see if we can do that. Give control. Not Finland. No. Apparently, we can't give them control over these territories, so I will have to sort that out in. Okay, now we've got the fate of all the territories. I will exert some pressure on the diplomatic corps to return control over these territories to the legitimate French government. So the last action, I think, for today is going to be Guderian's final push, and we have managed to encircle the Russian troops. So before the onset of winter, he is going to be able to finally get some glory to his name and destroy the encircled Russian forces in the pocket in the south here. That's that's half a field army. So I think with that his thirst for glory is finally going to be satisfied, and we are going to be then preparing for winter, improving the infrastructure, and getting ready for the final assault in spring against the Russians. And I think that'll be then the end of the Russian Republic. Finland in winter might also not be the most pleasant area to fight in, but so far von Mackensen's troops have done reasonably well, so maybe his forces can still push their way through Finland, and we have managed to break through and encircle a large part of Spanish troops here as well. So in the next episode we shall see have von Paulus's troops returned? I think not yet. In the next episode we shall see the expansion, the fate of Africa, the war going further into Spain, and the consolidation of the Eastern Front lines, improvement of supply routes, and getting ready for the final push to take down Russia. And we might need something now that we should have 2 French battleships that we didn't have before, although I'm not sure where exactly they went. I don't see them anywhere, so the French might have simply sunk. No, they are. Okay, we have taken the French Navy over. So this fleet is going to become under our direct control, is going to be clearing the Iberian coast of Spanish raiders. So I think that is a good use for the remaining French battle groups here. They can be, how many do we have? 21 destroyers. Yeah, so they can be joined by the two ships from the two experienced ships, the Kronprinz and the Admiral Werner. And that fleet is going to be dealing with Spanish forces and securing the Atlantic, while we are hunting for the Japanese fleet in the Pacific. And the Marines, once they're ready, will start launching. Where are the Marines, by the way? Have they arrived yet? They have not arrived yet. So the Marines are still underway, but they will be launching invasions in the Pacific. And nothing's really happened in the Americas still. So lots of things to do next episode. That's it for me today. Thanks, everybody, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.